What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and I know it's been a couple months since this one continued, but it's finally coming back, as we have a lot of stuff to cover, such as Rest of Kanto and the Indigo League. As the like goal will be 100 likes for part 3, as an Ash, Janine, and Gary, they head their next destination, as that'll be the gym in Saffron City. As the three train together, as Janine's involves in the arena, as well as our auto evolving into Gloom. And then the gang arrive at Saffron City, where Ash and Sabrina have their battle, as she's still the same person as in canon. As Ash uses her Haunter will use his Haunter to battle her Abra. As Haunter informed his comedy routine, as this makes Sabrina laugh, which is Abra off guard, and Haunter knocks it out with a Shadow Ball in a comedic fashion. As an Ash gets his Marsh badge in the process, but in this timeline, Ash gets to keep Haunter! As then, we wait a day for Gary to have his battle with Sabrina, as Gary manages to win using his War Turtle, as Gary gets his Marsh badge. As next destination is Vermilion City, as during an intense battle with Gary, Cubone managed to use the Spectral Flame Transformation again, without the presence of Team Rocket. As then Ash and Cubone side work, we're going to use Spectral Flame on command. But unfortunately, that wouldn't happen in time for Ash's battle with Surge. And seeing how Surge would treat Pokemon and people, this would sicken Ash. So Ash and Cubone would challenge Surge for a gym battle. And Surge is impressed for Ash being smart after being on ground site to fight a larger type gym leader. As Surge sends out his Raichu, using Ash's Cubone, as Cubone learns some ground type moves while training with Gary and Janine, such as Bone Rush. And then Surge commands a Body Slam. And from Raichu, as Cubone goes for Dig, as it pops up from behind Raichu and cleans its clock with a Bone Club. And using his Spectral Flame power in a fit of rage, allowing it to knock out Raichu with a Shadow Bone, allowing Ash to get his third badge. As an Ash game into Cerulean, and in the process, Ash catches both a Charmander and a Bulbasaur. He doesn't catch Squirtle in this timeline, as Gary already has War Turtle. As during a intense training session, Cubone finally managed to use Spectral Flame on command, as Ash then challenges the Cerulean Gym to a battle against one of the sisters, using Seal and Lapras. As Ash uses Bulbasaur and Magnemite, as then Seal comes out again. Ash's Bulbasaur, as Seal goes for Water Gun, and Bulbasaur goes for Razor Leaf. And afterwards, Seal sets up an Aqua Ring. His Bulbasaur hard with Ice Beam, which is doing major damage, as then Bulbasaur tries using Leech Seed to try and get some health back. As Seal goes for another Ice Beam, as Bulbasaur goes for Razor Leaf, as this results in a double knockout. As then Magnemite and Lapras come up for both parties, as Magnemite uses Thunderbolt against Lapras, dealing some good damage, as then Lapras tries going for Earthquake, which has Magnemite take major damage, but as Magnemite doesn't want to lose, it starts to glow and evolve into Magneton. As it knocks out Lapras with a powerful Thunder attack, allowing Ash to get his Cascade badge. And then the trek through Mount Moon happens, except for this time, Ash catches a Clefairy inside of Mr. Fuji. I also forgot to mention, Tauros was sent to Mr. Fuji when Bulbasaur was caught. As during an intense training session with Gary, even Cubone's Spectral Flame has to be Gary's newly evolved Blastoise, as this would be the trigger for Cubone to evolve into Marowak. As Ash arrives at the Pewter Gym for his 5th badge, where the leader is Flint, aka Brock's deadbeat dad, with Flint using a Rhyhorn and a Golem in a 2-on-2 battle, as Ash tries to use Magikarp and Bulbasaur, as Flint sends in Rhyhorn and War comes out for Ash, with Bulbasaur opening the battle with Razor Leaf. As Rhyhorn starts charging at Bulbasaur, which then allows Bulbasaur coming in Matador, using Vine Whip to trip Rhyhorn, and using Razor Leaf to deal major damage to Rhyhorn, as Rhyhorn uses Earthquake, deals damage to Bulbasaur. As Bulbasaur uses Leech Seed to sap Rhyhorn's health, knocking it out, as Flint is down to 1. As he sends in his Golem next, as Ash tries to filter Bulbasaur for Magikarp, which Flint laughs at. But this enrages Magikarp, and out of sheer rage, it evolves into a powerful Gyarados, which then uses Aqua Tail to slam Golem into a wall. And he uses Warp on to knock out Golem with 2 clean shots. So as Ash gets his 5th badge, but it also makes Ash question where Brock is, since he's supposed to be the gym leader. As Flint tells Ash that Brock left with another trainer on a journey, so he's been holding down the fort in the gym, as Ashton heads to Cinnabar Island for his 6th gym battle, as during their travels, Charmander managed to evolve twice, in the Charmeleon, while dealing some Exeggutor, and in the Charizard fighting an Aerodactyl. And here's the difference from canon: while Jigglypuff does its thing, one of Ash's empty Pokeballs rolls towards Aerodactyl and catches it, and it gets sent to Mr. Fuji. And also, since Charizard Her and Marowak are bonded, it'll obey Ash in this timeline, since both of them have a tragic past. Whereas in the battle of Blaine happens, with Ash trying to use Gyarados, Marowak, and Charizard. As Blaine's Ninetales, Rhydon, and Magmar. As Ninetales and Marowak come out first, as if Marowak goes for Earthquake, as Ninetales goes for Flamethrower. Which luckily for Marowak, it managed to spin its bone like a helicopter blade. It'll fight the Flamethrower, and the Spectral Flame Transformation. It uses a combination move to Shadow Bone and Shadow Ball to knock out Ninetales. As Blaine calls in his Rhydon, I deal with Marowak. As it knocks out Marowak with an Ice Beam. And I checked. In Wikipedia, Rhydon can in fact learn Ice Beam. As then Gyarados comes out and knock out Rhydon with a Dragon Dance boosted Waterfall. As Blaine calls out his Pokemon Magmar. As Charizard comes out of his ball and asks Gyarados in Pokemon language, Gyarados, tag out! I want to battle this one! As the battle between Charizard and Magmar goes as in canon. As Ash gets his 6th gym badge, as he then heads back to Viridian City to battle its gym, as Ashley battling Giovanni himself. As Giovanni uses Golem, Kingler, and a mystery Pokemon. As Golem then comes out against Gyarados, as Gyarados uses Aqua Tail, and then Crunch. As this knocks out Golem rather quickly, and then Kingler comes out next. As Ash calls back Gyarados for Magneton, as Magneton uses a Flash Cannon and a powerful Thunder attack to knock out Kingler. As then Giovanni's mystery Pokemon comes out, revealing it to be Mewtwo. As it decimates both Gyarados and Magneton, but then Marowak comes out, activating Spectral Flame instantly when it uses the Team Rocket logo on Giovanni's suit. As it actually puts up a good fight against Mewtwo, as the Marowak keeps getting angrier and angrier. As Marowak finally unlocks the mastered Spectral Flame Transformation. As this feat put Marowak over the edge on Mewtwo, knocking it out. As Giovanni reluctantly gives him the Earth Badge. As then the gang head to Fuchsia City for Ash's 8th gym badge. As during this trip, Janine catches a Tentacruel, and Neri evolves into Nidoqueen, Venoman evolves into Venomoth, and Zubat evolves into Golbat. Plus, Coughing evolves into Weezing, and Gloom manages to evolve into Vileplume. Sorry for any of those Janine evolutions. As an Ash arrives in Fuchsia City for the last badge, as Koga welcomes Ash back, as he decides he wants his battle to be with Janine, as they make it a full 6-on-6 battle to help Ash prepare for what's going to happen in the league. As Ash tries to use his Marowak, Gyarados, Magneton, Haunter, Bulbasaur, and Charizard, with Janine using Golbat, Venomoth, Weezing, Vileplume, Nidoqueen, and Tentacruel. As Golbat and Haunter come out first, as Golbat goes for Aerial Ace, while Haunter goes for Shadow Ball, as both moves do decent damage, as Haunter goes for Dart Balls to the Golbat, as Golbat goes for Zen Headbutt, as this would knock out Haunter, bringing Ash down to 5, as an Ash sends in his Magneton finish off Golbat, but first, Golbat in a surprise twist, evolves into Crobat first, but even that isn't enough, as Crobat goes down. As Nidoqueen comes out and knocks out Magneton's Earthquake attack, as Ash is down to 4, while Janine still has 5, as Ash calls in his trusty Gyarados next, as he goes for Aqua Tail, which sends Nidoqueen to a wall, as Nidoqueen goes for Sludge Wave, as then Gyarados goes for Dragon Dance, and then another Aqua Tail, which knocks out Nidoqueen, as then Janine sends in Weezing, as Weezing tries to take out Gyarados, as it goes for Destiny Bond. And then Gyarados goes for Aqua Tail, it just knocks out Weezing, but thanks to Destiny Bond, Weezing the Gyarados down with it. As battle is down to 3-on-3, as Ash has Bulbasaur, Charizard, and Marowak left, and Janine has Venomoth, Vileplume, and Tentacruel. As Vileplume goes a 4th for Janine, as Ash calls in his Charizard, as to clash with Flamethrower and Sludge Wave, and then Vileplume goes Energy Ball, and as Charizard goes for Mega Punch. And then Seismic Toss, which after a Flamethrower, this knocks out Vileplume. As Janine calls in her Tentacruel, as Charizard fights Tentacruel, as he goes for Hydro Pump and then Sludge Wave, with the Sludge Wave leaving Charizard poisoned. Then after another Surf, this knocks out Charizard, leaving Ash just Bulbasaur and Marowak. As Bulbasaur comes out next for Ash, as he goes for Razor Leaf, and using the same Matador strategy from his Pewter Gym battle, as Bulbasaur goes for Solar Beam, and Tentacruel goes for Ice Beam. As two moves clash and explode, leading to a double knockout, making the battle a 1-on-1. As then Ash calls in Marowak against Janine's Venomoth. As this be a great battle, but you even have Marowak use the mastered Spectral Flame Transformation. As Ash knocks out Marowak knocks out Venomoth, as Ash finally gets a soul badge to complete his case. As 3 head back to Pallet Town during his training arc before the League goes the same, except Ash caught the Onyx that Bruno caught in canon. As then Ash, Janine, and Gary head back to Indigo Plateau for the Pokemon League. As Ash and Gary get registered, as Ash's first round opponent will be Mandy. As Ash hits Magneton, Gyarados, and Tauros. As Gyarados comes out against Mandy's Exeggutor, as then Gyarados has clean sweeps Exeggutor, Golbat, and Seadra, after setting up 2 Dragon Dances and using Outrage. As in both Ash and Gary move into the second round, as those battles go the same. But when we get to Gary's 4th round battle, normally Gary loses this one, but this time, concentrating with Ash and Janine, he will be stronger than in canon, allowing Gary to get to the top 16. As we'll skip the battles for Ash in round 3 and 4, since, well, round 4, Ash just dominates with Charizard. In round 3, we don't really know that much about this battle, as Ash then battles Richie, as Ash uses Marowak, Charizard, and Onyx. As Richie's Sparky, Zippo, and Happy, as Happy and Onyx come out first. Now, I would say this would be a good battle, but Ash just ends up winning, and it's not even close. As Happy loses to Onyx, Zippo loses to Onyx as well. Well, Onyx uses a Rock Slide to beat Happy, a Rock Slide again defeats Zippo, and an Earthquake defeats Sparky. As Ash and Gary move into the quarterfinals, where they battle Asunta for Gary and AJ for Ash. As AJ beat a couple more scrubs than he did in canon, as he met Joe from Pokemon Tech and Brock. As AJ used Sandshrew, Raticate, Beedrill, Butterfree, Starmie, and Electrode. As AJ sent in his Beedrill, looking at his Aerodactyl. As Aerodactyl goes for Rock Slide, then Beedrill goes for Exeter, and then Poison Jab. As it uses the Toxic to take out Aerodactyl, but the Aerodactyl goes for Stone Edge, knocking out Beedrill. As then Butterfree comes out second for AJ, it is the Quiver Dance twice, and he uses Bug Buzz, which combined with Toxic would knock out Aerodactyl. As Muck comes out second, as he uses Gunk Shot, as that's super effective against Butterfree. Before Butterfree goes down, it sets up Tailwind. As AJ is down to 4, as Sandshrew comes in third, as Sandshrew KOs Muck with a powerful Earthquake attack. As Tauros then comes out and tries to go for Fisher, which doesn't work. As Sandshrew goes for Crush Claw, he goes for Brick Break to take down Tauros. As Ash is down to 3 Pokemon, as Gyarados comes out for Ash without even trying. Plus Sandshrew with Archer Deathfaining 2 of Ash's Pokemon, so already is pretty tired. As Gyarados uses Aqua Tail to knock out Sandshrew. As Raticate comes out 4th for AJ. As this isn't even a fair fight. Although Raticate does manage to land Super Fang, which cuts Gyarados' HP in half as it goes down. And then the Electrode comes out 5th. For AJ, it takes out Gyarados with a Thunder Attack. As then, Marowak comes out for Ash, as Electrode goes for Explosion. As Marowak activates Spectral Flame briefly to avoid it, since Ghost is immune to normal type attacks. As AJ is down to 1. As Starmie comes out last for AJ, it's using the Hydro Pump to take out Marowak. As Marowak uses Spectral Flame with Shadow Ball, as a major damage to Starmie. As Marowak gets knocked out, surprisingly, as Bulbasaur comes out last for Ash, and unfortunately, while Bulbasaur puts up a good fight, Storm using Psychic and an Ice Beam knocks out Bulbasaur, taking Ash out of the tournament, as AJ goes on to win the league. And with that, we'll leave off this timeline for right now, as like goes 100 likes for part 3, as I'll go ahead and get on out of here. Peace!